So you're going to see a video following this introduction here that says it's about record keeping. Well, I had a squirrel moment, and it more or less turned into why it's important to share the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to changing jobs. The importance of being upfront. So now that you know that I squirrel, make sure you subscribe so you can catch all my squirrel moments later, because I know that I'll have them. But please take a moment and watch this video and see why it's important to share the good, the bad, and the ugly about your work history. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Hey, Shannon here. We're going to do a little video here talking about work history and record keeping. This is going to be part of our From the Recruiter's Desk series, talking about what recruiters look for, what they're looking at when they look at applications. We're going to have all kinds of subject matters. But today, we're going to talk about record keeping on the work history. We're going to start with DOT requirements. The DOT requires you to list every job that you have held for the last 3 years. Addition to that, they require every driving job within the last 10 years. So if you had a driving job in 2011, in December, it needs to be on today's application for wherever you're applying. That's what it means, and that's what we're looking for, okay? But we all know that human nature says we have a tendency to omit or gloss over unpleasant memories. Whatever the reason they're unpleasant, when it comes to DOT regulations and driving jobs, they still have to be listed, whether they're good, they're bad, or they're ugly. The important part is having that information. So when we talk about record keeping, we're talking about making sure you know who they are, when you work there, and any major events that happen, accidents, while you were there, okay? Leaving this off of your application is not going to be good. In between the DAC report, the PSP report, your MVR, the clearinghouse results that we run for you, any one of those could definitely reveal information that you wanted to forget. Again, good, bad, and the ugly. So let's talk about why it happened. Was it an honest mistake? It happens. I only worked there for 6 months, and it was 7 years ago, and whatever, but I still have to have it. Honest mistakes, we're all guilty of those. The other one could be you're trying to enter it on the app, and it keeps glitching on you, and it keeps sending you back to the beginning. I hear this a lot. If that app is glitching on you, it's like any other electronic device. Turn it off, turn it on, start over. But when those kinds of things happen and you're doing that application on the weekend, hey, send an email or leave a voicemail saying, I had some problems with my application. Please make sure you get with me. Because otherwise, there are recruiters out there who will run your reports Sunday night, Monday morning before you're even awake, read them, compare them to your app, and say, nope, and gone on. And it wasn't you, and it wasn't your fault. The app was glitching. So make sure that you're reaching out to them and let them know. Then there is the third option of why it wasn't on the application. We're human. But leaving it off makes us wonder what else you haven't told us. When we call you for that interview, be upfront. Put on your application, we'll discuss. And when we call, tell us what happened. There are things that happen that are understandable, and there are things that aren't. But if you're not upfront, then it's not anywhere I want to go, and it's not anywhere my boss wants to go with a driver. We have to make sure that we're staying on top of these things because the federal government requires it. So in addition, you can email. Most carriers, when they receive your application, they're going to send you an email. Make sure you're responding to that email, if it's the middle of the night, what have you, so that you know, they know, okay? Some of the other things that you can do is stand out. Say, I know that 5 years ago I had like 8 jobs in 1 year. Whatever was going on in your life that created that situation, talk about it. What did you learn from that? What are you doing differently to not be with a carrier who you are ready to leave 2 weeks after you start with them? There's going to be more later in other videos in this series for that, but that's not where we're going to go today. When I say the ugly, because this is the final one, it's that SAP, the clearinghouse reports. There are carriers out there that will work with drivers who have been through an SAP. There are carriers that are like, nope, never, not going to happen. Each company has their right to their prerogative. And we're not here to talk about Dynamic today. We're talking about you getting a better application to get you the better job. When those things happen with an SAP, that needs to be the first thing out of your mouth when they call you. Flat, period. Make sure that they are aware of that. Most likely, the next thing that they're going to ask you for is, do you have the SAP report? Have you completed your return to duty test? What kind of follow-up is going with that? Have you completed that follow-up? Were there delays? Having those answers available when you call or ready when you're putting out applications is definitely going to give you a leg up. We all make mistakes, but owning up to them and being honest gets you a whole lot farther than anything else is going to get you. And that's what this is about. This is to help you have a better application to get a better job so that you don't have to job hop. Nobody wants to job hop. It's not fun moving from company to company. In the meantime, if you have any questions, ask those companies. When you're talking to them, make sure that they're giving you complete answers. When I talk to drivers, the things that I tell them about what we offer our drivers, I have written down in a document and we email it to them. What we say we offer drivers, we email them and give them that same information. Okay? And if who you're going to work for isn't going to follow those kinds of things, you really need to talk to more of their drivers and find out why they're still there. There is never enough research on a carrier when you're changing. They're all going to be a risk, just like every driver that we hire. Every driver that we hire is a risk. We try and negate as many of those bads as we can. The same needs to be for you. You want to negate those bad carriers from calling you? Make them answer the questions. Make them put it in writing to you. Don't show up to orientation saying you told the recruiter about that 15 over ticket last year, and then when you get there, it's not. And the safety director says no. And now you've driven to wherever or gone to wherever for this job, and you ain't home. And that's not a fun place to be. Do your research. Ask the questions. Have a wonderful day, and always call Dynamic when you're looking for a good job.